Greetings, friends. Welcome back to the 3 Minute Horror Show. Today we're going to talk about the second Halloween movie in our series, Halloween, where we do a deep dive on all the Halloween movies. It's myself and Brandon Reines. He's an Edmonton filmmaker and he runs a channel called Brandon versus Movies, where we've done some more content like this sort of thing. So go and subscribe to him as well. And today we are going to talk about Halloween 2 from 1981. This is more of the night that he came back. It picks up literally 2 minutes after the first one ended. Brandon, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, I love this movie. I actually think I like it better than the first one. It just gets into it really quickly. The first one, understandably, has to set up the story, and I like the setup. But this one, it's like, hey, we were already there. We just jump into it. Michael Myers is already on the loose, and it's got a lot of good tension, a lot of good kills. A lot of it takes place in a hospital, and yeah, I think it's just a very well done movie.
I agree. I think it was well done. I don't think we saw enough of Jamie Lee Curtis in this movie. When it comes down to it, she spends almost the entire movie in some sort of either comatose state or she's been sedated because she was grievously injured by Michael Myers, by her encounter with Michael Myers earlier that evening. So that's understandable, but you kind of don't really see anything happen with her until the third act when she actually gets into the whole thing. But before that, yeah, it's a really good movie. There's a bunch of new characters that are involved. We see some of the characters that we meet include nurses within the hospital. There's a maternity nurse. There's a couple of EMTs. There's a head nurse. There's a doctor, and the doctor I think is an alcoholic. I think they're giving him coffee at one point in time to sober him up so they can operate on
Yeah,
Lori,
Janet, get me some more coffee.
which is crazy when you think about it. And people are smoking cigarettes in a hospital, but it is 1981, so I guess that makes sense. Uh, as much as sense as that makes. But one of these EMTs is a guy who seems to know Lori because his kid brother goes to high school with her. And he immediately kind of like starts flirting with her and starts wanting to protect her and like, get with her, which is kind of sus if you ask me, because the guy is probably in his mid 20s. She's supposed to be like what, 17?
yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's there's a lot more Loomis. This one revolves around Loomis and the police trying to hunt him down. Laurie kind of takes a bit of a backseat, which I think is fine.
Yeah.
Like Loomis is, regardless of, I know you don't like him so much, but he is kind of an important part of the story. So I do like that. Just the story is, hey, there's a crazy killer loose in this small town. Like the cops are trying to find him. So that's a big part of the story. And then there's the other part of the story is all the shenanigans taking place at the hospital, and then Michael Myers
Mhm.
finally shows up, kills them all, and then there's the final showdown in the hospital.
This is the second most Loomis that I see Loomis in this movie. Okay, this is the second most crazy that Loomis ever becomes. In the respect that at one point in time in this movie, okay, in the previous movie, Laurie talked about having a crush on this guy named Ben Travers or Tramers or Tramer or something like that. Okay, forget that crush, Laurie. Forget that crush because Loomis kills him. In the respect that they're driving through town. Well, they're on the hunt for Michael Myers, and this is before I think this is before they discover that the sheriff's daughter was killed by Michael Myers earlier that evening. But they're driving through town looking for Michael Myers, and Ben Tramer just happens to be walking around wearing a jumpsuit and a Michael Myers mask. Okay, or at that point in time, I guess a Captain Kirk mask. So he's walking around looking like Michael Myers in town. Loomis yells at everybody to stop the car. He gets out of the car. He starts pointing his gun at this kid and he's about to shoot him. And the kid doesn't say anything because he's got this crazy old man pointing a gun at him, who's probably drunk too. He's got this crazy old man pointing a gun at him. He's just kind of like just standing there frozen. And then the shit hits the fan. Another cop comes flying around the corner, I guess swerving to not hit Loomis in the middle of the street, crashes into this kid, pins him up against a van, and everything fucking explodes. So Loomis kills this kid that Lori had a crush on. He's responsible directly for his death, and he doesn't go to prison. The fuck?
And I love how the cop that hit the kid with the car and Loomis, they're just like standing there talking while this kid's body is just like engulfed in flames, and they're sitting there talking like, "What are we gonna do?" Well, it's like problem here, guys. You might want to put that fire out. Yeah, that was a pretty crazy part, but it was yeah,
And the
it's
callousness afterwards, because they're all just like, oh, they go to find out, was it Michael Myers? No, it was this other kid, Ben Tramer, and they're like, what are you gonna
yeah. What are you gonna
do? Shucks. Oh well. Who's gonna tell this kid's parents?
do? Yeah, that was a bit ridiculous, but other than that, like there's a lot of cool parts. I like
Yeah.
the it has some gruesome. We talked about in the last episode that he stabs a nurse with a scalpel and lifts her off the ground,
Yeah.
pushes someone else's head, and then they go into a boiling hot tub and burns her face. Like stabs someone in the eye with a needle. There's some pretty
Yeah.
gruesome kills in this one. I just find overall it's a very entertaining movie, and
Yeah.
just like the dark hospital in a small town late at night, and there's no one there. And Michael Myers is lurking around because obviously he's going after Laurie Strode,
Yeah.
by Jamie Lee Curtis, but he has to kind of dispatch everyone else in the hospital too before he gets to her.
And this is the one where we discover that Michael Myers is the older brother of Laurie Strode, which I
Yes.
thought, in 1981, that might have been one hell of a twist. But the storytelling that we've seen over the past 30, almost 50 at this point in time, almost 50 years, I think that feels in 2026 time kind of like a cop out.
Yeah, I know it is something that people debate. I
Yeah.
really don't have a problem with it. I like a lot of people just hate that fact. They try to ignore it. They even tried to ignore it in the 2018 the new
Hmm.
trilogy. I think it's fine. Like the story would have worked exactly the same if they weren't brother and sister, but
Yeah.
it's fine. I can easily ignore it. I do like I know Quentin Tarantino said famously that he's like what makes it scary in the original one is we don't know why he's going after Laurie.
Right.
It's like he just picked her at random for some reason. That kind of makes it scary. As soon as they give him justification that it's his sister, it is kind of a cop out. I could see that, but it's like whatever. It's not enough to ruin the movie. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But it did annoy me. That's all.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing that kind of bothered me, more so as the movie went on, this one ends. So there's another great scene, a sequence, I'd say. The whole third act of the movie is Michael Myers pursuing Laurie Strode through the hospital, out into the parking lot, back into the hospital. Finally, Loomis and a U.S. Marshal, because at this point in time, Loomis is being sent back to wherever it is that he's from, Eatonbrook, Cedarbrook, I can't remember. He comes from some other place where he works at the hospital. I should remember this. I'm going to get dragged in the comments like I did for when I said that kid's name wrong from Friday the 13th, Part 5.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but whatever it is, the hospital that he came from, he's being sent back, and they've got a U.S. Marshal waiting for him. When they're on their way back, Loomis first of all says, "Okay, we got to go back to the hospital because I just figured out because this lady just told me that Laurie Strode is his sister." And then he points a gun at the marshal's head who's driving. And then to show that he means business, he fires the goddamn gun in the car, which is super crazy, Loomis. Like this is super crazy, Loomis. But the U.S. Marshal says, what are you gonna do? Let's turn around and then go back." So they go in and they fight Michael Myers together. This one ends in a conflagration of flames. Okay, so Loomis and Michael Myers blow up an entire wing of the hospital, which brings me to my concern. What happened to the babies? Because there's a nursery full of babies that are newborns, and first of all, nobody's watching them because that nurse got her face fried in a hot tub. And second of all, they got blown up. He blew up babies.
I think the babies are just fine. I think it was just that one little section. I think that yeah, that's how I imagine it. That explosion would have just been confined to that little area where they were. The babies were we're fine.
All right. Well, let's hope that's the case because if it were the case that all those babies got killed, we probably would have heard about that in 4 and 5 as being the worst baby massacre that the United States had ever seen in the history of the United States, right?
Yeah, I guess it shows how far it would have shown how far Loomis is willing to go to kill Michael Myers. But yeah, he's always like threatening the cop with the gun, even if it
Yeah.
was justified. There would have to be consequences for that. Like you can't just point a
Exactly.
gun at a cop and shoot a gun. Like at the very least, you would have to pay to get that window replaced. Like
Yeah.
it wouldn't just be like, it's all good. You meant well. It's like you need to be punished for that.
Maybe nobody reported it because that cop got killed.
Yeah. Actually, now that you
So
mention it,
he went scot-free. But he should have
yeah.
gone to jail for that for causing the death of that Ben Tramer kid. Or at least been sued into oblivion by his parents.
And not to mention, you mentioned, he's being sent back to the wherever he came from.
Yeah.
Because like, the governor ordered you to go back. I don't think the governor can order civilians to do something. Can't be
No.
like, hey, you're a dentist. The governor ordered you to work Saturday.
Yeah.
What? Like it's like you can't just order someone and send the cops to go drag him back to his hometown. It's like I don't think that's the way things
Yeah.
work. But
Walk into a restaurant after close and say, the governor ordered you to make me a sandwich right now. Because I'm hungry. So what do you think
yeah,
of this one overall?
I'd say I'd also give it a 7.5, but I think I kind of like it better. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a better movie. Like the first one's probably a better movie. I just think
Mm.
if I had to watch one again, I find part two more fun to watch.
Hmm.
Just because it's just it you don't have all the setup because when you rewatch the first one, it's like the opening's kind of cool, but then you just get a lot of other stuff which is well done and they're good parts.
Yeah.
But once you've seen it like 30, 40 times, it's you kind of want to get to more Michael Myers stuff, which I figure there's just more of that in part two.
Yeah. Overall, I give this one a 6 out of 10. So it's quite a bit lower than the first. It's definitely not my favorite in the series. My favorite in the series is coming up soon.
Yeah.
But you know what? I haven't seen the Rob Zombie ones yet, so maybe they'll end up being my favorites. But
Yeah.
it was entertaining. It was still better than most of the movies that I watched, to be perfectly honest. If you look at my Letterboxd, my low end, it's kind of a balanced arc if you look at it really. But I watch a lot of bad movies, and this is not a bad movie. It's a good movie.
It's great for the longest time. Like growing up, it was my favorite one.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore, but yeah, it's very. I just think as a horror movie, a standalone horror movie, it's great, and as part
Mhm.
of the Halloween series, it's great.
They did a lot of the Michael Myers things that they seem to lose in the later ones as well. In this one, I guess with it wasn't John Carpenter directing this one, I don't think.
No,
But they picked up a lot of the mannerisms. Like there are a lot of situations where you'll see him doing something in the background where your focus is on the main character over here and they don't know they can't see what's going on back there, but he's back there doing his thing. And you can see it. They don't do that so much in the later movies.
no, that's a correct assessment.
Hmm. All right, so that brings us to the end of Halloween 2 from 1981. Remember to go ahead and subscribe to Brandon's channel, Brandon versus Movies, and subscribe to me while you're at it if you want to. And we will see you next week when we talk about my favorite movie in the entire Halloween series, Halloween 3.